My name's Tucker Gumber. I also go by The Festival Guy. It's a website I've been running. And we're here to tell the story of Daft Punk at the Trash Fence.
It all started for me in 2015, just shortly before Burning Man, that I started to notice this kind of culture of very important people. At the same time, sort of this old meme from Burning Man of Daft Punk at the Trash Fence, which is essentially a way of fucking with people. And so what I did is I made 2,000 VIP wristbands for Daft Punk at the Trash Fence in Trash Fence orange, and people would look at their wristband on their wrist and they would freak out. I got people crying.
My involvement in this story happened at Burning Man 2015, and the sun was coming up. I was on an art car, and I was in this intense conversation with this guy named Quentin, and then at the end he's like, "Hey man, I'm gonna invite you to something." And he takes this orange wristband out of his pocket, and it says Daft Punk at the Trash Fence. And instantly, I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And he's like, "Bro, it's happening."
You send them out in the middle of the night just to the furthest dregs of Burning Man where very little exists. And of course, Daft Punk's not playing.
3 days later, it keeps getting into my brain, and it's time for the show. And I'm like, God, what if it was them?
The idea was we'd send all of these people out to a very specific time and place. But I hadn't really considered what the ramifications of that were because it all happened so last minute right before Burning Man. And it started to feel like the world's biggest dick move. So a buddy of mine says, out of 70,000 people at Burning Man, there's gotta be somebody who has replica Daft Punk helmets. Stands to reason, but right, out of 70,000 people at Burning Man, how are you gonna find them? And he very stoically just said, we're gonna find him. The very next morning, heading out to Burning Man, and we have another passenger in our truck. This guy says, I have a friend who has a clean recording of a live Daft Punk show from 2007, and he has a friend with replica Daft Punk helmets.
So I'm heading out there, and it's one of those moments where you're like, I can't believe I'm doing this. Here I am, my sixth year to Burning Man, going to see Daft Punk at the Trash Fence. On the distance, I see an art car, and I start hearing music, and it's definitely Daft Punk. So this is great. So I get up front and dancing with a bunch of people, but then I realize I have a wristband. Okay, does this get me on the art car? So I go around the back. It does. Finally! Just one of those experiences you'll never forget. One more time. And seeing how much fun it was, it really got my brain going for next year.
This year, 2017, at Lucidity in Santa Barbara, I actually meet Tucker for the first time through a mutual friend, and I realized that Tucker has taken the ball and run with it and has been producing these shows and sharing it with so many more people. And he went back in 2016 and did a big show and blew people's minds.
And I'll wear a Tucker, Festival Guy here, checking in from the RV. With Burning Man, when you go to it, you're supposed to look for something that you think you can make better. This is my gift to Burning Man. Let's go. One more time. So to make it happen, I had to crowdfund amongst friends to buy Daft Punk helmets from a chrome factory in Mexico. And then I had to get DJs to be Daft Punk. Of everyone at Burning Man, the Funk Hunters, two of my favorite producers, and they were super down. And there was just this moment where everyone was like, oh my gosh, it's happening.
And it's just heartwarming to see that this little idea, this little butterfly effect, the little seedling, the spark, has sort of taken off.
Daft Punk right now, man. Come on, y'all make some noise. I can't believe it.
And the thought of getting a bunch of art cars all synced together at the Trash Fence and all of us going and dancing to, Daft Punk at the Trash Fence for real, but maybe not, but maybe, that's my passion right now. Let's do that. One more time.